Tensions between the United Kingdom and the European Union appear to be intensifying once again over post-Brexit arrangements, with Brussels drawing sharp criticism in London and beyond after outlining what some commentators are calling a tough financial stance toward the UK. At the centre of this dispute is a major European security and defence investment programme, often referred to as a €150 billion safe fund, that aims to boost Europe's military capabilities in the face of rising international threats. The UK had hoped to join this scheme, seeing it as a way to deepen cooperation with its closest neighbours. But negotiations hit a dead end late last year after disagreements over how much Britain should pay in to participate. According to reports, Brussels demanded as much as £5 billion or more for UK access, a figure that London balked at and ultimately rejected, leaving talks stalled. Critics of the EU say this demand is less about fair contribution and more about Brexit revenge, claiming Brussels is deliberately setting what they see as steep entry conditions to punish the UK for leaving the bloc. Supporters of that view argue that the price tag, far higher than what British negotiators had budgeted, shows the EU is trying to make participation prohibitively expensive for Britain. Social media debates and posts online have amplified this sentiment, with some commentators describing the approach as overly harsh and punitive. Officials in Brussels, however, present the demand differently. EU leaders have said any country wishing to benefit from a scheme of this scale should contribute in proportion to the advantages it expects to receive. They framed the issue as one of fair financial balance rather than retribution. From their perspective, Britain would be joining a project largely financed by member states and should share the cost of that investment if it wants full access. This stance reflects wider disagreements about how to structure post-Brexit cooperation on defence and security. For London, these developments come amid a broader effort by Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer to reset relations with Brussels after years of acrimony following the UK's departure from the EU. Starmer's government has pursued talks on a range of issues, from easing trade barriers on food exports to exploring closer economic ties such as a potential customs union or other arrangements, but progress has often been slow and politically fraught. Recent comments from senior EU officials suggest Brussels is open to negotiating on some issues, yet the diplomatic landscape remains complex. Across the UK, the fallout from these stalled negotiations has fueled debate about the cost and benefits of post-Brexit Britain's relationship with the EU. Supporters of closer ties argue that cooperation on defence and trade could bolster the UK economy and national security, while critics warn that excessive financial demands undermine the country's sovereignty and hard-won independence from Brussels. As talks continue to fluctuate, and both sides seek to find common ground, the broader question remains whether the UK and EU can build a constructive partnership after years of difficult negotiations, or whether disputes like this one will continue to strain ties between London and the bloc.